it's Maddie K, and today I wanted to make an attempt at a story time video. I know that it's very different from my normal content, but it's something I've always wanted to do since storytime YouTubers like Emmy Chiru and Wolfie Chew had once shown me through their videos that, like, wow, you can make a living making art and stories on YouTube. The problem? I'm not a big fan of sharing stuff about myself on the internet, so I held off for a while, unsure what kind of story would be fun, but not too personal to share. And I think I might have some. Sorry for the wordy intro. Let's get on with it then. So, if you read the title, you'll know that this is the story of how I set my rug on fire. So, to begin, I was 2 years old at the time. Don't ask me why I have clearer memories of being a toddler than I do of being a teen. I can't answer that. That said, when I was a toddler, I had somehow come up with the idea that, like, plugs, the ones you plug into outlets, that they were magical. Like, by plugging them into the outlet, you got anything you wished for. Now, honestly, I feel like this was solid logic for a human who only spent 2 years on Earth. I mean, I saw my mom plug in the coffee maker while talking about wanting coffee, and she got coffee, and, so on and so forth. I I wanted a piece of this magic for myself. So one day, I snuck into our kitchen and found a random, plug-in object on the counter, and somehow managed to get it off the counter without anyone noticing. I found out later from overhearing my mom retelling this story to someone that when like showing them around our house that this was an electric water heater thingy where apparently you plugged it in and stuck this little thing attached to it um into like a cup of water, and it would heat up the water for you, like for tea and stuff. um so yeah, I think we all know where this is going, right? So I sneak back into my room and plug it into the corner outlet in my wall, holding my favorite kitty stuffed animal, Smokey, while wishing that he would come to life and be real. Which is funny considering I had two real cats at the time named Scrappy and Shadow. But I think I also wanted Smokey to be able to talk and be my friend too, so I guess that's different. Well, as I'm wishing for this, like in my head, the water heater is heating up my carpet that it was set on and proceeded to set it on fire. I don't recall what I did with Smokey, but he was unharmed. Um me I immediately thought, "Oh no, I did not wish for this," and tried to unplug the water heater. The one that's on fire. We have to remember that this was only my second year on Earth, and naturally I was kept away from being able to touch fire prior, so obviously I could not unplug it, and I think even if I could, that wouldn't stop the fire, but I didn't know that. I had to go up to my mother who was working on her computer. I don't know what exactly I said to her. I couldn't talk much at the time, if at all, but I somehow managed to get the adults, to come into my room. It's funny because I vaguely recall walking in and my mom making a comment to like someone else in the room about how she smelt smoke and she smelled smoke for some reason and had no idea why. Gee, I wonder why. Um Though that's very fuzzy, so don't quote me on that. Anyway, one of my mother's close friends was over, and while everyone else was panicking, she stomped out the fire with her designer shoes, and that somehow worked. Her shoes were ruined, though, and we still joke about it every time we see each other to this day. So anyway, the fire was out. I don't recall like, the exact chain of events afterwards. I remember them taking me to the doctor or probably a hospital or something to get my hands checked out, and the doctor saying I'd be fine, and my mom and older sister being super relieved about that. I also remember being absolutely terrified to sleep in my own room for a while after that. My parents tried to convince me to sleep in my own room, but I was having none of it. I was having none of it. Um, I thought they lost their minds because I still had no concept of how fire worked and thought it was some sort of monster that would just magically return and attack me again. Somehow we ended up fixing that. Though for years there was just this square of missing carpet in my room where the fire had been, and every time someone came over, we had to explain how I set the floor ablaze. Anyway, that's the story. I hope you enjoyed my toddler self's antics, and I hope you have a nice day. Hey, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Let me know.
And now, time for some cut content.
Thank goodness I didn't wish for one of my real cats to gain the ability of human speech. That would have gone poorly.